Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap. I hope all of you guys had a wonderful day. My day was all right. Today is Thursday, May 22nd. Hope all you guys are doing well. We got a lot of news to cover today. We have three segments today. We have a Trump administration segment, we have a court segment, and we have an other news segment per usual. But, a lot of interesting information went down today, so let's get started. Opening up with the Trump administration segment, per usual. The first segment we have today is Trump has revoked Harvard's ability to enroll international students. The Trump administration has revoked Harvard University's ability to enroll international students. In a statement from the DHS, they said Harvard will no longer be able to enroll foreign students, and existing foreign students must transfer or lose their legal status. Kristi Noem ordered her department to terminate Harvard's Student and Exchange Visitor Program certification due to the university's refusal to turn over conduct records of foreign students. In Noem's letter to Harvard, she accused the school of perpetuating an unsafe campus environment that is hostile to Jewish students and promotes pro-Hamas sympathies, and also employs racist diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. Trump's continued attack on education needs to stop. Using the nation's best law school to set an example has to be one of the dumbest ideas ever. I mean, I am so excited to see that lawsuit go down. How dumb do you have to be to just up and try and impact one of the nation's greatest law schools essentially ever? I mean, do you know how many students that are there going to be lawyers? That's extra credit. Just say, hey, you guys want some extra credit? We're suing the Trump administration, and you have hundreds of lawyers on that case instantly. How dumb are you to do that? How dumb do you have to be? Moving on, Trump is planning to host his meme coin investors tonight. Trump will host some of his top purchasers of his cryptocurrency at a gala dinner Thursday night. Dollar sign Trump was launched before Trump was inaugurated and was a rug pull for buyers as it rocketed in value, and Trump and his rich friends sold out shortly after. Many are concerned that this will be a risk due to national security as many foreign investors will publicly be at the event. The top 220 purchasers received invitations to the black tie optional event. Well, doesn't this scream, let them eat cake? I thought this would never be mentioned again because Trump flat out robbed his supporters a night or two before he had become president, which is insane. He doesn't care about the people, he only cares about himself and the rich, and this was one of the clear things about that. This is one of the clear displays that he truly just doesn't care, and he wants what's best for himself and the other people who have money in this country. Moving on to the court segment. Every once in a while, we have one of these segments when there's a lot of things going on in, the judicial world, and every once in a while, I try to bring in another segment. It tends to be hard, but sometimes there is always enough topics for another segment, and it's also always nice to do so. So let's get started. For the first segment today, in the court section, the Supreme Court has allowed Trump to fire members of independent agency boards for now. The Supreme Court has granted Trump's request to fire heads of two independent agencies, the National Labor Relations Board and the Merit System Protections Board. The vote was 6-3. The issue being Trump's firing of the National Labor Relations Board member Gwen Wilcox, who still has 3 years left on her term as board member, along with Kathy Harris, who still has 4 years left on the Merit Systems Protection Board. Shortly after coming into office, Trump fired several heads of the administrative agencies, including Wilcox and Harris. This is scary. This means that these positions will likely be filled with Trump's puppets, and we all have seen how how it works out when Trump puts his yes men in high levels of government positions. It doesn't work. Newsflash to anyone who didn't know. I mean, what else more do you expect, really? He's going to get what he wants at the end of the day, and he needs to be removed from office. I don't understand the Trump special treatment. I don't understand what he did. Maybe it's just because the rich weren't involved, or maybe it's because he has something else going on, but I don't know. The corruption in the U.S. government becomes more clear every day, especially with Trump staying in office, because it has been clear for a very long time that he is actively negatively impacting this country. And I don't know if it's because of his supporters or whatever it is, but he should be removed from office. Let's be real, honestly. Moving on, a judge has blocked the dismantling of the education department. A federal judge has issued an injunction blocking the Trump administration from dismantling the education department and ordering that fired employees must be reinstated. U.S. District Judge Myong Jun of Maryland wrote in the ruling, "The record abundantly reveals that the defendant's true intention is to effectively dismantle the department without authorizing statute. The department cannot be shut down without congressional approval." The judge said this injunction was necessary because the supporting of declarations of former department employees, educational institutions, unions, and educators paint a stark picture of irreparable harm that will result from financial uncertainty and delay, impeded access to vital knowledge on which students and educators relied. This loss of essential services for America's most vulnerable student populations. This is good news. Yes, the education department sucks. I've been very vocal about that on multiple occasions, but it at least sets a standard. And even if that standard is bad, states would be doing much less without it. Let's be real here. The Department of Education and the education system need to rebuilt, and I really hope that one day I can be one of the key players in doing so in politics. It's one of my dreams when I reach, representative to help rebuild the education system. I strongly believe that we need to build a system that students are interested in, a system that benefits students. The issue today is students are more interested in their phone than anything else. They don't want to learn, they want to be on their phone. And that's the problem. These lessons aren't entertaining, they aren't captivating, they're not on students' interests. And it would be so easy to just build a student that supports students based on their interests, that puts them in classes based on their interests. We could be teaching kids and setting them up for the real world, putting them into positions that they would enjoy as adults because of their interests, and that would genuinely probably be beneficial to them. Yet we don't set up our children to succeed in the world. I am a high school graduate and I don't know how to pay taxes. Like, that shouldn't be a thing I have to say. I should be learning how to pay taxes in high school. I should be learning about a 401k in high school. Granted, I already do know what a 401k is, but there are all these things that we are just not taught about in high school. We are set up for failure. It's true. Like, it really is. We are setting students up for failure the way education is ran now. And sure, many students go into college and many of them get a degree, but you are not being helped by the education system. You are not being helped at all, really. You're being put into the real world with essentially no knowledge about it. Not to mention, you are taking classes that really don't apply to your skill set or what you're going to do in college. It doesn't relate. It's honestly unnecessary. I don't know. I really just think that it would be so easy for us to have a system that genuinely benefits students, that puts them in positions where their are supported, and I think that would not only build a better workforce, but build better people and smarter people. Like, I don't know. You look at Europe. Like, I mean, look at the UK specifically. Their system is great. They are actively teaching students and putting them into positions that benefits them and what they would be interested in. And I think the fact that we don't do that in the United States is crazy to me, at least. Moving on, the House has passed the budget with major cuts. The House of Representatives has passed the big, beautiful bill by a single vote. The legislation, which enacts most of Trump's policy agenda, was passed early Thursday morning. The bill now heads to the Senate for a vote. This bill would put the country into trillions of dollars more in debt. It would cut Medicare and Medicaid and so many other social programs. It also boosts military spending, and we all know how I feel about that one. In a post, Trump wrote, "This is arguably the most significant piece of legislation that will ever be signed in the history of our country." I'm excited, truly excited to see how MAGA supports this when they lose all their benefits. I can't believe it. Democracy dies in celebration and the profit off the people. It's just like Star Wars. Just like Star Wars. George Lucas knew what he was talking about. We are going down a dark path. We are going to a fascist oligarchy that is controlled by the billionaires. And somebody needs to stop it. And the fact that it hasn't been stopped yet is concerning. I mean, putting more money into military spending, unnecessary. We have so much money spending on the military. We spend so much on military. Why? It is unnecessary. We are leagues ahead of any other country in the world. Maybe not by numbers, but by technology. We are leagues ahead of any other country. We do not need this extra spending. We could be putting them into social programs for students, for mental health, for so many things. Yet, no, we don't. And it's stupid. We don't care about the people. We care about killing people in third world countries. Why can't we just focus on our own people? Why is it that every president has to be involved in some genocide in the Middle East, has to be involved in some situation in another country in the world? Why isn't that we can't have a president that just sits here in the Oval Office, stands up and says, "I'm going to do what's best for the American people, and I am going to do what's best for world peace"? Why can't we have a president like that? That's the kind of president I want to be. Why can't anyone else do it? Truly. Moving on to the other news segment, and there's been an attack on the Israel U.S. Embassy. Two Israeli embassy staff were shot after leaving an event at the Capitol Jewish Museum in D.C. Sarah Lynn Milgram and Yaron Lichkonsky were a couple working at the embassy and were unfortunately shot late last night. The suspect is identified as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez and from Chicago, who chanted "Free Palestine" while in custody of the police. This is a very unfortunate situation. Of course, I got a little flack about saying that because Jewish people. But it truly is sad to hear that these two young women unfortunately passed. My condolences to them and their families. Yes, Palestine needs to be freed, but that doesn't mean we should be shooting innocent embassy workers. Hopefully, this man is prosecuted because in no way should people be getting shot, especially because these were Americans. These weren't Israeli people. They were Americans working for the Israeli government, and of course, the Israeli government is the problem. These embassy workers are not the problem, and we should not be targeting them. Moving on, there's been another attack as there was a shooting at the CIA. A non-fatal shooting was reported outside of the CIA quarters in McLean, Virginia, on Thursday morning. The incident happened at 4 a.m. when a woman failed to identify herself when driving a van through the front gate. In a statement, the CIA spokesperson said, "The main gate is currently closed. Employees should seek alternative routes. Additional details will be made available as appropriate." This is definitely an interesting situation. I hope we will get to learn more details soon because I have so many questions, but alas, we will have to wait for answers. I mean, I just want to know, what were the motives behind this? Was it an accident? Was, you know, it something that this lady meant to do? Did she have ill intent? Did she have positive intent? Was she just a delivery driver? There's so many things that could be asked, and I'm sure many more people are interested as well. Moving on to the last topic today. I know it's a bit of a sad one, unfortunately, but a plane has crashed into a neighborhood. A small plane crashed into a San Diego military housing neighborhood on Thursday morning, killing at least 2 people on the plane. The San Diego Police Department said in a statement on Twitter that at least 2 people were killed, 8 others were injured, and 10 structures were damaged, setting fire to multiple homes and cars. San Diego Fire Rescue Department Assistant Chief Dan Eddy said at the press conference, "I just walked it myself and down the street itself. It looks like something from a movie. We do believe we have multiple fatalities, but we're going to have to go through and take our time to ensure that's exactly what we have. The jet came from Teterboro Airport in New Jersey and landed in Wichita, Kansas this morning, where it would stay an hour just before flying to San Diego. Multiple surrounding neighborhoods have been evacuated at this time due to oil spills. This is such a sad news to hear. My condolences to the people who were injured and who have passed away, as this was a terrible accident. I do wonder if this was caused by engine failure or something else, but I hope it wasn't anything malicious, and I hope nobody else has passed away. It is truly, unfortunate to hear about anyone passing away. But yeah, with that being said, that's all the news we have to cover today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you're on YouTube, please consider subscribing, dropping a like, dropping a comment down below. We are on our way to 500 subscribers. I froze again. We are on our way to 500 subscribers, and it would be so cool, to get there. Hopefully by the end of the summer. I know that's like a big ask, but it would be really cool to me if we could get there by the end of the summer. But if not, that's okay too. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate all the support. If you're on Substack, please consider pledging your support. All funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I'll need to pay for in college, like food, clothing, all those sorts of things. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I truly do appreciate all these forms of support. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. Also, feel free to check out my Blue Sky. That's where I post out random little bits of information and, the announcements for these videos coming out as well. But yeah, other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. Later.